It was a bright and sunny day in the forest. All the animals were out and about, scurrying from place to place, all except for one little tortoise who was sitting sadly under a big tree. This tortoise's name was Shelly, and she was not feeling very happy. You see, Shelly had fallen off a log the other day, and as she tumbled down, she cracked her shell right down the middle. "Oh no," Shelly cried when she saw the big crack. "What am I going to do? How will I ever move around or play with my friends now?" Shelly's shell was like a home to her. It protected her soft, squishy body and helped her move across the ground. Without her whole shell, she felt scared and unsure of herself. The other animals tried to cheer Shelly up. "Don't worry," they said. "Your shell will heal up in no time." But Shelly just sat there, hugging her legs and staring at the ground. Days went by and Shelly's shell did not get any better. It started to look even worse. The crack grew bigger and bigger, and sometimes pieces of the shell would just fall off completely. "I can't go anywhere or do anything," Shelly cried. "I'm stuck here all alone under this tree forever." One day, as Shelly was moping around, she heard a strange noise coming from the bushes nearby. Shelly perked up her ears and listened carefully. It sounded like sniffing, and then a low rumbling growl. Shelly's heart started to race. "Oh no," she whispered to herself. "That must be a wolf. I'm all alone and my shell is broken. I won't be able to get away." Sure enough, a big grey wolf slowly emerged from the bushes, its yellow eyes glaring right at Shelly. The wolf let out a loud howl that made all the birds in the trees fly away in fright. Shelly trembled with fear. She knew she couldn't run very fast with her cracked shell. All she could do was curl up in a ball and hope the wolf went away. But the wolf wasn't going away. It started slowly creeping towards Shelly, its huge paws making the ground shake with every step. Shelly closed her eyes tightly, too scared to even move. Just when the wolf was about to pounce, a loud voice rang out through the forest. "Hey, leave the tortoise alone." Shelly opened her eyes to see a huge bear standing between her and the wolf, standing up on its hind legs and baring its sharp teeth. The wolf paused, seeming a bit startled by the sudden appearance of the bear. Then, with a hoof, he turned around and scowled back into the bushes, disappearing from sight. Shelly couldn't believe her eyes. You saved me," she said, staring up at the bear in awe. The bear nodded and gently helped Shelly to her feet. "Are you okay?" the bear asked in a deep, rumbling voice. I think so," Shelly stammered. "But my shell is so badly cracked, I can hardly move." The bear looked closely at Shelly's broken shell and frowned. That does look painful. But don't worry, little tortoise. I'll help you." The bear carefully scooped Shelly up and carried her through the forest. Shelly clung tightly, afraid that even the slightest movement would cause her shell to crack even more. After a while, they came to a small hidden cave. The bear carried Shelly inside and set her gently on a soft bed of leaves. "Stay here and rest," the bear said. "I'm going to find some special leaves that will help heal your shell." Shelly nodded gratefully as the bear turned and lumbered out of the cave. She was still a bit scared, but she felt safer here than she had out in the open, with the wolf lurking around. As Shelly waited, she couldn't help but wonder about this kind bear who had saved her life. Who was he? Where did he come from? And why was he being so helpful to a little tortoise like Shelly? Time seemed to stand still in the quiet cave. Shelly's eyelids started to feel heavy, and she drifted off into a peaceful sleep, dreaming of slowly walking through the forest, her shell as good as new. Suddenly, Shelly was jolted awake by the sound of rustling leaves. She sat up with a start, her heart pounding, as the bear reappeared in the cave entrance, carrying a bundle of large green leaves. "Here, this should do the trick," the bear rumbled, kneeling down next to Shelly. He gently unwrapped the leaves, revealing a sticky, gooey substance inside. "What is that?" Shelly asked, eyeing the strange mixture cautiously. "It's a special healing salve that I made from the leaves of the forest plant," the bear explained. "This will help mend your broken shell." Shelly watched as the bear carefully applied the salve to the cracks in her shell. It stung a little at first, but soon a soothing, warm feeling spread through Shelly's body. "There, that should do it," the bear said, sitting back and admiring his work. "Now you just need to rest up and let the salve do its magic." Shelly looked at her shell in amazement. The cracks were already starting to close up, and the pain was beginning to subside. "Wow, thank you so much," Shelly exclaimed, beaming up at the bear. "I don't know how I can ever repay you for saving me and helping me like this." The bear smiled and patted Shelly on the head. "Don't worry about it, little tortoise. I'm just glad I was able to help. Now, you get some rest. I'll be right here if you need anything." Shelly nodded and snuggled down into the soft leaf, feeling safer and more comfortable than she had in her days. As she drifted off to sleep, all she could dream about was the kind, huge tortoise that saved her life and mended her broken shell. The end.